Hey everyone, welcome back to another video of K'nex It, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my K'nex pop-up suitcase. Here we go. So this is it right here, my K'nex suitcase. Now, you might be thinking, this looks just like a regular suitcase. I mean, it's a box with a handle, what more could it be? But it gets special when you see the underside. So these are legs, which are attached by hinges on either side of the suitcase box. And when this box is lifted up, these two are going to fall downwards, and so it's going to create a stand for the suitcase. And this is what it looks like in action. I take it and I pick it up, and the legs pop out just like that. Now, I want to go a little more into detail about exactly how this works. To make sure that the legs are secure, I made a locking rod, which unfolds down, preventing the legs from folding back up if the suitcase is knocked into it. Here is how you would build the simple mechanism of the locking rod. The locking rod is simply two rods connected on hinges to a yellow connector, and with a piece behind it. This prevents the rods from going backwards like this. So, one end of the locking rod is attached onto the case, and the other end is attached to the legs. So when the leg falls down, this yellow part falls downwards and clicks in like this, preventing both of the rods from collapsing back inwards, and therefore it keeps the legs in sturdy position outwards. And to fold it back up, you just push this yellow part back in, and you're able to fold the legs back up. Here you can see exactly how the legs fall down and are secured in place by the rods. This design makes it very strong and sturdy. When I hold the suitcase by its handle, I don't want the legs to fall out by accident, so I created a lock for them in front. Now you'll notice there are these two gray connectors, and those each are on the bottom of both of the legs. And you'll notice that there's also this gray rod here, and that prevents the rods from falling down when it's closed. But when you lift it up in this position, then it's unlocked and the legs can fall down. And so that would look like this. Now before we continue to what's actually inside of the suitcase and the mechanics of it, I want to go into exactly why I built this and where I got the inspiration from. I made this for a math project, where I had to give a presentation on any topic with applied math. And with a hobby for juggling, I give my presentation on just that. Now I love to watch America's Got Talent, and one of the magicians, Piff the Magic Dragon, had a suitcase where underneath it popped out these legs, so it created a stand. And that's where I got the idea of creating some type of stand underneath my suitcase. Now, I went through many different models trying to recreate exactly what Piff the Magic Dragon had on his suitcase, but those didn't work out so well. So I eventually came up with a simpler solution of just having two legs on either side of the suitcase that pop down instead of having an entire stand. Because I need to bring my props to school, I built a K'nex Suitcase for them. And because I need to reach it during the presentation, I built a suitcase with legs so that it could stand on a desk in front of me while I give my presentation. Alright, so now we actually made it to the top of the suitcase. Now, one thing which is really important for the suitcase is that when you're holding it by its handle, the lid needs to be able to stay attached to the actual base. Otherwise, it's going to open up and everything's going to fall out. And that's why I created 3 locks for the suitcase. Now, 2 of these locks can be found at either end of the suitcase, and one of them in the center. So first let's look at the outer 2. So each of these 2 are just hinges, which are on the lid of the suitcase, and they attach to the base of the suitcase. Now, to unlock these, you just simply take the hinges and you slide them out from the base. Now, these 2 are in the unlocked position. You'll notice I also have these black clips at either end of this white rod in order to prevent the hinges from sliding off. So now these 2 locks are unlocked. Now let's look at the middle lock. So the middle lock is a little different. you'll notice that there's this rod with a black connector at the end of it, and it's stuck on this orange piece here. In order to unlock it, you're going to take the rod and you slide it out of the way. That's because this rod is attached to a hinge on the inside. Now, once that rod is out of the way of the orange connector, you'll notice that the lid could actually open up now, and so the suitcase is unlocked. Now, the lid works by a series of hinges all down its back over there. So you'll notice that I'm able to lift the lid up with it being attached to the base. Now, as you can see, I have all my juggling equipment in the suitcase. I have my juggling balls, my juggling clubs, and even, my favorite of them all, my juggling scarves. Alright, so now we can actually see how this third lock works. I want to go into that a little bit more. So this lock is attached to a hinge over here and with a rubber band. Now it also has this green connector with a white rod attached to it. And that prevents it from rotating because this white connector hits the top of the lid. So this is simply how the third lock clicks into place and stays in place, and then also clicks back out of place. Alright, so now let's talk about this center rod right here. Now you'll notice it looks pretty similar to what we saw in the legs. That's because it's the same exact mechanism. So this allows the lid to be able to stay in its open position and also allow it to fold back down and be stored. So when you open up the lid, this pops out. Now all you do is just push it out a little bit so that it clicks into its place and it keeps the lid open. And when the lid closes, this rod here falls down through this indent, and this yellow connector here falls right here perfectly in between the club and the end of this base. And it looks like this. Alright, so now we talked about the third lock and how it works on the inside, and this rod that keeps the lid open. Now let's focus on exactly how this handle works and what makes it so strong. So this handle is connected to the actual frame of the suitcase, and that's why it makes it so strong. Because you're not just lifting up like a flimsy outside, you're actually lifting up the stronger parts of the suitcase. Now what's important you'll notice is that this handle is about midway between the top and the bottom, including the legs. That's important for balancing when you're holding up by its handle, because if it's too much to the back, then the front will be heavier with all the juggling stuff in it, and it will start tipping over. And if it's too far to the front, then the back will start tipping over. So this is like perfectly balanced in the center with all the juggling equipment which weigh down the other side. Now you notice I customized the dividers in here so that all my equipment fits perfectly into this. Now the greatest part about it is that you could take all this stuff out and rearrange it however you want, and you could use this for anything and not just like this. So something else on this fan is that you notice that there are these green connectors around the top. And what these do is these help guide the lid and keep it in place over the edge of the base. And that also helps hold the lid on when you're holding it from the handle. Alright, so that is my suitcase. And the best part about it, when you're done, put all the juggling stuff back in, close it, lock it, and then all you have to do is take it, pick it up, and off you go. Yeah.
And yeah, definitely lock it so this doesn't happen again.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and comment what you liked about this video, and also if you have any ideas for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you guys so much again, and I'll see you in the next video.